Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today is gonna be the last part of our haunted house tutorial, and today we are going to make just the extras. First up will be the tube box that we will put on the roof to make it more stable. So you will need a 7.5 by 11 piece of paper, and on the short side you will be scoring at 0.5, 2.25, 4, and 5.75. And on the long side you will be scoring at 0.5, 2.25, 9.75, and there's another 0.5 on the corner. And then the next thing we do is we're going to do the snips. And we will start by cutting. Again, I do apologize that I am using a black cardstock, so it's harder to see the score marks. So this one, that tail, that's the 0.5 that we scored earlier. Next thing we do is cut that 0.5 and we will do the same on the other side. Next thing we do is cut until our next score line. And then the next, we are also cutting until the 2.25 score line. We will be doing this on the other side as well. I believe it's mostly the same for almost all sections. But you notice that on this one, on this section, we did not cut the 0.5 score line. Now to the next section, we are again cutting until the 2.25 mark. I always say 2.25. It's easier for me to understand it that way. And for here, we are again cutting the 0.5 score mark. I think it's also easy for you to understand like how it's gonna look like if you just like pause this video and just check how it looks like and then just copy it. Then for the last section, you will cut off the 2.25 mark. Same on the other side. And that is how it's gonna look. Next thing we're going to do is cut our mats, our printed cardstock, and stick it in. Stick it on the black cardstock. So for the mats, you notice that I put 3. I used 3, but you actually only need 2, which is going to be on the center and one of the sections next to it. You will see later because you won't really see the other sides, just a 2. So for the mats, we have 6.5 by 1.75, and then for the cover, those white squares, that measures 1.75 by 1.75. So I already glued and sewed them. And once we put it on the roof, like you will see why we only need to cover 2 sides, 2 sections. Again, for those of you who have not watched the other tutorials, like I will link them down below so you can watch it. This is going to be the last part. And also, if you haven't seen it yet, haven't seen the other videos, the collection that I am using for this project is from Fancy Pants Designs. It's called Happy Halloween, and you can get it now on their website and use Nifty Crafty Me 10 for a discount. Now we're putting the box together. Almost done. Again, the measurements for the paper that we're using for this box, it's 6.5 by 1.75. Again, you only need 2. And then for the cover or closure, you will need 2 1.75 by 1.75. I am gluing the other closure up. Clipping a bit of the paper there because it's easier to insert the closure flap. Also clipping a bit on the other side. And there we have it. Now the next thing we need to do is to glue that one on our roof. It'll make our roof sturdier. There you go. You just saw that when I put the box on the roof, one side of the box that had the pattern paper, like, you won't even see, which is why you don't really need to cover 3 sides. You just need to cover 2 sides. I'm sticking the bottom by using double-sided tape. Now we stick it onto the middle of our roof. All we need to do is glue that front part. Now I will be using hot glue for this one. And there, our roof is more sturdy. Put our door back. And there we go. Now next, we're going to make the boxes for our house that goes inside. Now this is optional, but I thought it would be better if we make the boxes, because the moment that you remove the door from the house, then whatever you put inside will fall out through the doorway. So again, the boxes, you will need two. You will need to make two. That is an 8.5 by 10 paper, and you will be scoring on the long side. You will be scoring at 0.5 . So you'll score at 0.5, 2, 5.25, and 6.75. Next, you switch over to the short side and you will score at 1.5. Next thing we need to do is do our snips before we assemble the boxes. Next, I fast forwarded and already sewed on the paper. Next thing we're doing is we're going to make the straps, the handles for the boxes. That's actually the first thing we need to do before we put them together. So you will be needing two 8.5 by 1 and four 1.5 by 1. So the 1.5 by 1, what you do is you will put glue on the corners of those sort of squares. But the way you put it, it should be, I believe, you're gluing it at the 1.5. 1.5 side, so the longer side. So you will be gluing those two squares on those sections, the 1.5 sections, but only on the sides. And you do that because we need to insert our 8.5 by 1 strips for our handles. Again, you just have to glue on the sides, because the handles, they have to be able to move them. We have to be able to move them up and down. So you do that first. I'm also doing the other side. I'm at the other box. This is actually optional if you just want a box to sit inside the haunted house. You don't need to do the handles. Like, you just have to assemble the boxes, put them inside, and then you don't even need to cover them with pattern paper. But because I wanted to be able to remove the box, that is why I am putting the handle. It'll be easier for me to remove it if I have the handles. Trying to insert that strip, and there you go. Next thing, we need to put our stoppers. So this is so that the handles don't fall off. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting buttons on the bottom of that strip that has already been inserted. So you have to make sure that if you do these boxes and you do the handles, you have to insert the strip first before you put the button. I'm putting the other side. Next thing we need to do is to insert the other end of the strip on the other side. That also has those squares. Then after that, once you insert it, you will also put the buttons there to act as stoppers. Next thing I'm doing is just putting the boxes together. See, as you can see, you can pull the string up, and you can also pull it, like push it down. Here we go, we made our box, and now we can put it inside. So all I needed to do was just push that handle so it will fit inside and the roof will close. As you can see, if you see up there, I already put the fence and the windows. And the last thing that we're doing is going to be the small box that goes to the center of the haunted house. It's going to be inside. There is a little bit of space there, and I wanted to make use of every little nook and cranny so we can put more stuff. So for this one, we're going to need a 9.5 by 3.5 paper, and we will be scoring at 0.5, 2, 5, 6.5, so again that was 0.5, 2, 5, 6.5 on the long side, and on the short side we are going to be scoring at 1.5. And the same as what we did with the bigger boxes, we're going to do our snips to make our box. Once we're done with our box, we're ready to put it in and glue it. That space in the middle, that's what I was talking about. See? We just have to put that in and glue it in place. Now I was making sure if it fits, if it closes. Gluing it in. And that's it. Pretty sure we're done. Make sure it's placed well. And while I'm drying that, again, I would like to thank you to everyone who has watched this 3-part series. Thank you so much, and I hope you make one and tag me when you do. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.